Hello, I'm Lauren Wyka, and we today, in the next 2 days, are going to bring in the real topics of overwhelm and anxiety. Within the next 3 days, you will have a new tool to set yourself free from overwhelm and its best friend, anxiety. So before we get started, I want us to just do a little breathing exercise for a moment. So let's see here. Let's sit back in our chair or the couch or the sofa or the bed. Just make sure your back is resting. And then let's close our eyes. And let's just begin to become more conscious of our breath. That's all. So we're just becoming a bit more conscious of our breathing. And maybe we can try to breathe in for 3 seconds, out for 3 seconds, or whatever feels right to you. And then once we do that, let's just bring our attention and focus on our breath right at our nose. Becoming more conscious with our breathing right at our nose. And then from there, let's just move on to our mouth. And let's become more conscious of our breathing at our mouth, whatever that means to you. And then from there, let's drop down a little bit further and become more conscious of our breathing at our chest. Let's become more conscious of our breathing in our lungs. And then from there, we're going to continue on down a little bit further into our stomach, our tummy, and our belly. Whatever your preferred word is. And let's just become conscious of our breathing in our stomach, in our tummy, or in our belly. Whatever that means to you. And one way I like to do this here is just to become more conscious with my stomach rising and falling as I breathe. All right, so we'll bring that to a close. And we'll come on back and open our eyes. And we'll begin again. So let's begin with the definition of overwhelm. There's a few different definitions in different contexts, and we'll name a few of them. The first definition of overwhelm is bury or drown beneath a huge mass. Another is defeat completely, So if we use that in a sentence, his team overwhelmed his opponents. Defeated, completely overwhelmed. Another definition of overwhelm is to give too much of a thing to someone or something. So let's hear that one again. Overwhelm is to give too much of a thing to someone or something. And if we use that in a sentence, they were overwhelmed by farewell messages. Another definition of overwhelm is to have a strong emotional effect on. To have a strong emotional effect on. If we use that in a sentence or in real life, I was overwhelmed with guilt. I was overwhelmed with guilt. And those are 4 definitions of overwhelm. And to be clear, we are including anxiety here also. Anxiety is, to me, overwhelm's BFF. And a short definition of anxiety is a feeling of worry or a feeling of nervousness. I have worked with many clients about this very topic. And the way I want to go at this is for you to hear from real life clients how they got through this. We are going to take it step by step over the next 3 days. Okay? Step by step. So we're going to start with Jason. Jason's in his mid-20s, and he's at his first big job after college. As I was working with Jason, the question that came up was, what does overwhelm feel like to you? What does overwhelm feel like? Feel like. And Jason, his response was, I feel like my head is spinning. So let's use our imagination here and feel into those words. When I feel overwhelmed, I feel like my head is spinning. Yeah, I can feel that. Can you? Next, we have Chloe. We're going to ask Chloe the same question. Chloe has a new job, and it's in a slightly different industry than her last. She now works in tech. And for her, overwhelm feels like, I don't want to get out of bed. Have you been there? I'm curious. Any hands go up on that? Yeah. So right here, right now, we can say, that's a whole lot of no fun. Are you with me? Yeah. Okay. One more. Elizabeth. Elizabeth has 2 kids under 5 and works full-time at an ad agency. And she has a brother that she helps support from time to time. Asking Elizabeth what overwhelm feels like to her, she says, I feel irritated and quickly annoyed. So let's feel into that. Overwhelm makes Elizabeth feel irritated and quickly annoyed. Can we relate to that one? So now that we got to hear from Jason, Chloe, and Elizabeth, I want to hear from you. As you feel into your life, what does overwhelm feel like to you? Until tomorrow, we see each other again. I have a request, and it is that if you feel into your overwhelm, how does it make you feel? You feel into your overwhelm. How does it make you feel really? So you don't need to write all this down. You have all this attached in the email workbook day 1. And we'll continue with other workbooks as we go along. And for this question, and then as we move forward here, one thing I really want you to not do is to not overthink or overanalyze your answers on any of this. Don't think too hard. Let's just go with whatever comes up. So we're going to practice that here in this container too. Okay? Okay. You feel into that question, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.